All right, so I got a little bit of time. I'm driving on this straight stretch of road in San Antonio, Texas, chock full of stupidity and traffic lights. So I just thought I'd get on here and do something different. So when I got in the car this morning, I plugged in my iPod and decided I was going to listen to some music, as I am wont to do. And I decided today that I was going to pull up Testament, only because something popped up on Twitter. Somebody had posted that they liked Testament more than Metallica. And again, that's personal taste. Everybody's got their own taste, man. Some people think Testament are good. Some people think that they're shit. So I like Testament. I've seen them a couple of times live, and I've always been disappointed. But musically, I've always liked their stuff. Not everything that they've done, but I like their music in general. And I actually met them once at the Dallas-Fort Worth airport, standing in the line at a taco stand. And I didn't even know what to say. You know, at that time I was younger and more impressionable, and so I saw them as superstars. Anyway, so I popped in my iPod and started listening to Testament, Souls of Black. I haven't listened to this album in quite a long time. I remember when it came out, I had it on vinyl. The first thing that I notice about it is the production value. There's something about the production value that I never really liked. A little bit too much reverb, especially on Chuck's vocals. But musically, I liked it a lot. The one thing I like about Testament is that kind of that bounce that they got going on in their riffs. Not just the rhythm section, but the guitar parts. There's a lot of bounce that goes on in their riffs. Kind of what I consider quintessential thrash metal. Anyway, it's been a really long time since I've listened to it. You know, the solo work from Alex Skolnick on here is really, really pristine, and you could already start to feel that he wanted to branch out beyond just traditional thrash metal or metal in general. You could already start to feel it. You could feel it a little bit earlier, but it was, I think, around this album where there really started to be some signs that Testament was going to go maybe in a different direction. This was a precursor to The Ritual, which was the album that came out after the Black Album by Metallica, and that album was almost a lockstep mimicry of the Black Album, with the whole slow everything down and more soulful tuning, and I didn't really like that one. But anyway, Souls of Black is a solid old school thrash metal album, you know, minus the things that I've talked about. Chuck Billy's voice has always been one of those things where I prefer the heavier stuff. When he gets more into the growl, I prefer that more. But what I like about a lot of these earlier bands or the bands that have stuck around for a long time is every one of their vocalists may have what people would consider the traditional sound, but they still stand out. They stand out. You know who they are as soon as you hear it. If they go do solo work, you're gonna know that it's Chuck Billy, you know? You're gonna know it's James Hetfield. Very clear. Whereas you'll get some of these newer bands, and this is not a slam against them, it's just an observation, but you'll get some of these bands that are, especially some of the newer stuff, that is little cookie cutter. You can transplant members from one band to another band, and you probably wouldn't really notice that much of a difference. But the newer bands I'm talking about, the ones that they try to branch out, they try to do something a little bit different, those are the ones that are going to stick around. So anyway, Testament, if you haven't listened to them in a while, Souls of Black, like I said, I had it on vinyl, but now I'm listening to it on MP3. Technology, man. it's come a long way. So, Souls of Black, not one of my favorite albums, but it's definitely a damn good one. If you do want to see or hear a damn good, matter of fact, you know what? Fuck it. We're going to change while I'm talking and driving and drinking my coffee, to the one album that I consider to be their best, The Gathering. Starts off with that fucking fast twitch muscle of DNR, man. Boom! Testament. Metalface, bitches.